take us to the bottom line of what you found after doing the study with 256 parents. What was your conclusion?
So my conclusion is that parents gave very detailed and thoughtful information about their kids, and they are worried about their kids' mental health. And they saw a lot of behaviors that were surprising. And some of these behaviors support that social influence could be possible. And so between the behaviors, such as groups mocking people who aren't transgender, and behaviors with, really being very positive about it. And I'll tell you one story that's really compelling, but also these clusters. They describe these friend groups where 50% or more of the friend group became transgender identified. But there's one story that really drives home this issue about kids influencing kids. There were 2 cases, unrelated, where these kids were with their peer groups at school and came to the conclusion that they were transgender. The kids, both of them, actually spent a summer away, just in a different environment, made new friends, had romantic relationships. And while they were away, they concluded that they really weren't transgender after all. And these kids were, when they came back, were terrified to face their peer group and asked their parents to help them transfer high schools so that they wouldn't face these kids, because they were concerned that these kids wouldn't understand, they would mock them, they would treat them like a traitor. And both of these families were able to relocate and help the kid transfer high schools and was thriving. So I think that speaks about that kids are influenced by their peers. And again, this is a first descriptive study. So this is not, conclusively proving anything. This is just raising hypotheses. And then the other interesting thing that came out of this is, well, maybe this process might be like a maladaptive coping mechanism. So like the way anorexia, people are suffering and then they come to the idea that the reason that they're suffering is because they're too fat, and the solution is to lose weight. And so we know that doesn't solve problems of depression and anxiety and can cause new problems. But this is, it's a coping mechanism for pain, but it has other consequences. Mm-hmm. So the stories, there are people that had, mental health issues and trauma. And it just was, it painted a picture that this is possible and more research is needed.
Mm-hmm. And this is my own commentary, not yours, but I don't think it's any accident that it arises at a time when it's considered sort of uncool to just be a straight, possibly white, possibly male, whatever kid. It's not that sexy for the young girls who, I don't know if there's been a breakdown on race, but like people need a card to play in today's day and age to be told that they matter. And this is a card. And it gets affirmed in the same way any other sort of minority identification or quote victim identification would be rewarded. And so the kids who might not have that previously or might not feel that they belong to a group that supports them previously, this is an entry into being special, feeling connected, feeling more popular, and maybe having some of your idiosyncrasies explained away in a way that's more acceptable. That's my own, addition.
Yeah. I think I know it's hard to be a teenager, and it's even harder to be a teenager right now. And things are very polarized now. Heck, when I was a kid, you could get up to the point of college and really not know about politics. And and smart kids, not just, because it wasn't in everybody's face all the time. And so we've become very polarized. And although in some circles, kids may be really, supported for being LGBT, there are other circles where they're going to be bullied for it. So, it depends where you are. And so the way I would look at it in terms of different perspectives is we've got, and how we deal with, everybody is different. There are all kinds of differences, but we can start out with discrimination and stigma and move to tolerance and support, and then maybe as an unintended consequence, maybe sort of glorifying. And so I think the most important thing is that we've moved from discrimination and stigma to support. And that's a beautiful thing, that we are, tolerant and more supportive of LGBT individuals. I think as we're trying to navigate this, whether we're making it, sort of a little bit more glamorous or making anything more glamorous. I don't want to pick on this. I mean, this is, there are a lot of things like this, but I think we're sort of grappling with where should we be? And so the answer is yes, we should be in this tolerance and support, but we don't want to pressure people into needing to identify a certain way.
Nor do we want to celebrate something that may not be real and may have real downsides physically, mentally, and emotionally, as we're seeing some of these detransitioners come out and talk about. Anorexia isn't the perfect analogy, but it's got some parallels in that you would never put an anorexic on the school stage and give her snaps when you're looking at a clearly skinny girl and say, you say you're fat, you are fat. Yes, go ahead, keep dieting. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't celebrate it or make her feel like she'd now joined some sort of cool clique that was going to be profiled in magazines in a way that was laudatory. This is something Abigail Schreier's been saying. And if you have genuine gender dysphoria, that's one thing. But if you're glomming onto this, whether you know it or not, because you don't want to be a lesbian, you don't want to be something that you consider not special. This is deeply problematic. The road towards transitioning medically and otherwise is fraught with peril, fraught with a lot of peril. So to me, it's all part of the abuse by our medical community of these kids who, after one expression of I might have this problem, get affirmed all the way to top surgery and beyond without anybody taking the time to really understand what's going on.